Want candy? Want candy now?
What is going on, everybody? Nazarachi coming back at you again with the Part 2 Relic review episode for the Final Fantasy IV Fate Calls Power Awakens banners. Now, this one is going to be actually a reasonably good banner for Kain and for Paladin Cecil. There's some Super Soul Breaks for Rosa and a couple other characters, as well as Cid gets some love with a BSB. Legend Materia is kinda on this banner. And I do apologize for being a little late. I've been having some webcam issues and eliminated driver problems, so that only leaves hardware. But with that being said, we can get this banner covered pretty quickly. Now, again, there are some really good things on it. I personally will not be making a big pull here because I have a pretty high dupe chance. And the LMRs, like I said, are just kind of weird, not really my style. Starting off here, this is a relic for Paladin Cecil. This is 6-star USB. We did see this on the previous festival banners, but this is the first actual event banner where it's made a debut. 171 attack and small boost to holy damage always in effect, so it does join the ranks of swords that you can use for that always active holy boost. You have the USB Sacred Cross. Deal 10 physical holy non-elemental attacks to one target. Temporarily infuse the user with the power of Holy Light and enter Paladin EX mode. Paladin EX mode automatically heals the damage the user takes up to 6,000 in total and increases the user's defense a large amount. So this USB right here is not really about damage. You do get the 10 holy attacks, which can be beneficial if you have him unholied and as well if you are in a holy weak situation. But this is really about survivability. While this EX mode is active, he pretty much almost doubles his health. It's not quite double because Paladin Cecil does have a good amount of HP, but you'll have an extra 6k to play around with and the defense buff. Combine this with his new BSB2 that we just saw, where he will draw fire to himself, and that'll set you up with a really good tanking character. He does have an OSB as well, so it doesn't do a horrific amount of damage, but again, if you're in a Holy Week situation, Paladin Cecil is a good character to break out. He's also great for Final Fantasy IV Cid missions and synergy team builds in that regard. So all in all, it's a pretty good USB if you're building Paladin Cecil. I only have his OSB. This would be pretty useful, but it's not enough with all the stuff that we have up and coming in terms of the Spring Festival, 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy, and, you know, Final Fantasy VI banners. I'm, again, not really looking to invest too heavily in this banner here, but if you don't have Kain well built, this is an amazing banner to take advantage to get him up to par. I was able to completely clear Bismarck with Kain as my only DPS on my team in the Magicite dungeon, and it was under a minute too, 56 seconds. So Kain is a powerhouse character. I really enjoy having him on my team. He's one of my fan favorite characters, and we got something for him coming up next here, his OSB. So we do have the Dragon Mail, heavy armor for Kain, 19 attack, 179 defense, 121 resistance, and no other stats. Synergy bonus only ice resistance, but you do have an always active fire resistance. This can come in handy if you're doing the Living Flame Magicite. Toss this on a heavy armor wearer, and it'll definitely help you out in that regard. You do have the OSB Kain's Lance, massive jump lightning non-elemental damage to one target. Deals more damage for each Dragoon ability the user has used. Can break the damage cap. So your ideal combo with Kain here is to have his BSB that's on this banner as well, the Abel's Lance, and use that BSB a couple of times, get into finishing distance, and then use this OSB right here. The commands on the BSB trigger as Dragoon. Then you also have the option of equipping Lightning Dive to him and using the second burst command to keep refreshing it even if you have it at low hones. So that's something to be considered right there. We'll get to that a little more with the BSB, but basically you want to stack some Dragoon abilities and some jump damage to help boost up this OSB right here, and then it's a pretty reasonable finisher. Like I said, I was able to use it against Bismarck for consistent 90k plus hits with an Entruster. I think I did about 5 in a row at 90,000 and finished Bismarck out under a minute. It was just kind of the build up to have all that ready is what took most of the time in that fight. So again, Kain is an amazing character. I definitely would not be against pulling on this banner if you don't already have this, or his BSB, either one of them, because he's a great character. So if you are a fan of Final Fantasy IV and you don't care so much about saving for the festival, this is a good banner for Kain here. You do have a BSB now for Cid, the Gaia Hammer. It is no bonus effects whatsoever and 140 attack. The Falcon Drill, deal physical lightning non-elemental attacks to 8 random targets, temporarily lower their attack, magic, defense, resistance a large amount, and haste burst mode to the user. You have Lightning Hammer, 2 physical lightning non-elemental attacks to 1 target, temporarily lower its magic a large amount, and Thunderbolt Wrench, 2 physical lightning non-elemental attacks to 1 target, lower its defense a large amount. So you have a good full break on the BSB entry here. That's something that we always like to see. It is very functional and can stack really well with penta breaks, these commands right here, and whatever other special breakdowns you may have, like Van's USB or Van period. Stuff like that's always to be considered. You also have Ferris's USB 2, which has that very stackable tri-break on it. So all that to be considered. This is a pretty good BSB entry here for a support character. It does hit twice instead of once, so a little bit more damage than what you'd see on some other support characters that don't feature that and only have 1 attack. So the theme of these BSB commands here and its optimal usage will be bringing the physical team to a magic-based dungeon. So you'll be able to do more damage with your physical characters while lowering the magic of your enemy. That's the most ideal usage of this, but it will see plenty of use outside of that if you do use Cid. He does have some good lightning abilities, so that may be a reason to pack him along. Other than that, you probably find some better support characters, but again, for lightning situations, Final Fantasy IV synergy, Cid is just fine. He's good to use. And unfortunately, we did see Paladin Cecil's stuff split across both banners. So if you made pulls for his BSB 2 on the first banner, that might impact your ability to draw here. Instead, we're seeing a BSB for Kain. This is the one I had mentioned earlier. It's a great BSB right here. Small boost to lightning damage always in effect, and 130 attack. You have the Dragoon's Pride, 4 jump lightning non-elemental attacks to all targets, haste burst mode to the user, and infuse the user with the power of lightning. Pretty average on entry effect, if not a little below average, because we get only 4 attacks instead of 6 that we see on a lot of other AoEs. But we do get the end lightning, which is crucial to Kain's theme, and element effects on BSB entries are always appreciated. We have the burst ability Stormblood Dragon, 2 ranged physical lightning attacks to 1 target, remove the delay from the user's jump attacks for 2 turns. This stacks amazingly well with Lightning Dive. You get that delay reduction on the jump attacks for 2 turns, and these are ranged attacks as well. So if you absolutely have to use Kain from the back row, he can function, even though I generally toss him in the front row anyway. Triumphant Lancet, 2 ranged physical lightning attacks to 1 target, and restore 1 ability use to the ability with the fewest uses. We've seen this on stuff like Alphino's BSB. This will basically enable you to bring abilities that have very low hones on them and make really good use out of it still, because you'll be able to replenish that. So Lightning Dive, even rank 1 or 2, will be perfectly functional, because you will be able to potentially squeeze in this burst command too to get those hones back. Because this stacks with his OSB damage multiplier, and in general you get the end lightning and good lightning effects, Kain is again just a really good lightning character. He's got a good attack stat, and he's capable of some pretty awesome stuff. So next up here we have the Ceodore BSB from the After Years. Now, this is where we really are feeling the divide of Paladin Cecil across both banners. You have his USB and his LMR on the second banner, but his BSB 2 on the first banner. So they did that on purpose, I believe, but good strategy, well played DNA. 137 attack, no bonus effects. You also have 68 mind, because Ceodore does have some reasonable healing qualities to him, but in the long term, I don't think he is an A-team character, so I wouldn't invest too heavily in him myself. I do have his SSB, but that's on this banner as well. We'll get to that. You have the Holy Crossed Burst Soul Break, 8 physical holy non-elemental attacks to 1 target, restore a moderate amount of HP to all allies proportional to their max, and haste burst mode to the user. So we have a hybrid damage healing entry effect right here. I'm not a huge fan of those because usually the numbers on both ends, the damage and the healing, are not super great. But as a supporting healer, maybe is not your primary healer on the team, and as well for Sid missions and synergy, this will definitely be functional. You have the Curing Cut, 4 physical holy non-elemental attacks to one target, and a heal effect to an ally, and the Asuna Blade, 2 physical holy non-elemental attacks to all targets, and cast Asuna on one ally. So interesting effects we have here. Definitely a hybrid white mage slash DPS. Again, because of that, I don't think he's an A-list character, but he does have some useful effects. I'm not going to completely knock him here. His SSB isn't terrible, and the animations on both his SSB and his BSB are actually really cool, and kind of why I wanted them in the first place. Interesting character. I probably won't use him super often, but I don't anticipate pulling that. We do have PCecil's Legend Materia Relic here next, the Cecil's Guise. You have heavy armor, 17 attack, 140 defense, 96 resistance, small boost to holy damage, always in effect. In certain situations that will lead this relic to be always useful and equipable for the Holy Magicite. That's kind of what I see this for, is extra boost to holy damage for whoever you may bring. So really cool that this features that. The effect, however, Indomitable, increase the user's defense up to a small amount proportional to the number of the attacks the user has taken. This is not a very good LMR effect right here. As a stat stick with the plus holy damage, that's where its true value is. You know, Paladin Cecil already has ridiculous survivability if you have his USB. It's only a small buff. It takes a while to scale it. You have to also have draw fire mechanic from his BSB or ability for really to even guarantee that this might stack. So again, all in all, I really don't like this Legend Materia right here at all, but the plus holy damage makes it very useful. I think they did that on purpose. You have another really wonky Legend Materia relic next, the Dragoon Bracers for Kain. 31 attack, 18 magic, 96 defense, 92 resistance, and 18 mind. And no bonus effects on this one. Deal significantly more damage with Dragoon abilities when a spear is equipped. The only spear that's really going to see the most benefit from this is his BSB relic that has the All Realms plus lightning damage. So with Abel's Lance, you will be able to see a good effect with this. But what if you're using Lightning's USB plus All Realms Lightning Sword that's got a much higher attack stat? You're not going to get any benefit from this whatsoever. So I do have an 8-star Abel's Lance, and even with that, it still is not really close to the damage stat on Lightning's USB sword. So again, kind of very selectively useful LMR, one that I will be happy to avoid, honestly. Hopefully his record dive or his legend dive is much better, because that is a skippable LMR right there. You have Kain's Super Soul Break, the Wyvern Lance, 127 attack, no bonus effects, and Rising Drive, 4 jump attacks to one target, and remove the delay from the user's jump attacks for 3 turns. If you have his BSB OSB combo, you will never use this, ever. It is not really functional and is definitely outclassed by his better soul breaks. You know, on the Burst Command 1, you'll feature a similar effect to this right here. It's only 2 turns, but again, you'll get the N-Element Lightning. So, again, this Super Soul Break here, completely invalidated by his better relics. Next up, we have Artemis Bow for Rosa. It is a Super Soul Break heal for Rosa, but first off, 79 attack, 25 magic, 126 mind. The Divine Heal Super Soul Break. Restore a large amount of HP to all allies and enable each to avoid 1 magic attack, effective against most spells. Similarly to Kain's Super Soul Break, this is completely outclassed by her USB, the Benediction. If you have her USB, you will never ever cast this. Both Kain's Super Soul Break and this for Rosa become just mastery points at this point. No bonus effects to reason to equip them, and effects on the Soul Breaks that are completely outclassed make both of these dud draws on the banner here. You'd want to avoid both of these relics. Unless you're trying to perfect those characters and get those mastery points, then okay, but don't waste resources on this banner for that with the festivals and all the good stuff that's up and coming. Next up, we have the Feathered Cap for Porum, 28 magic, 83 defense, 121 resistance, and 37 mind. No bonus effects, and Twin Star Super Soul Break. Temporarily raise the attack of all allies a moderate amount, mind a small amount, and critical hit chance a large amount. This is not a dud Super Soul Break on the banner. This combobulation of buffs right here is actually very, very good. You will get a stackable effect on that, and the critical hit chance buff is the highlight here. With the attack buff as well, you get a very good combination that you can definitely use to increase your damage output. Now, you're going to have to selectively team build that and combine it with other useful effects, but by itself, it's a great piece to up that damage combo right there. We have the Force Armor for Ceodore again here. Minor ice resistance always in effect, so could potentially help out in Magicite situations. And synergy bonus, lightning resistance also. Selectively useful. Rubicant's going to be kind of your main enemy in Final Fantasy IV realms, and he is fire damage. Then you'll have Barbatia for wind, and Scarlamone for poison, and God, what's the water guy's name again? I don't know why I forget the water guy's name right now. It's just slipping my head. So, yeah, but those are the 4 elements. There's no dedicated lightning in Final Fantasy IV that I'm aware of, so selectively useful there. You have Cognazo? Yeah, Cognazo. That's his name. I forgot it for a minute there. So, sorry about that. You have 17 attack, 139 defense, 94 resistance, and no other stats. Super Soul Break, Cross Slash, 5 physical holy non-elemental attacks to all targets, and temporarily infuse the user with the power of Holy Light. You get the End Holy, which could help leading into his BSB and its commands after the fact. It's, again, a character that's a little underdeveloped at this point in the game, with a Super Soul Break and BSB that tie together, and no OSB or USB. But again, as a supporting healer and as a paladin, he's got a very high mind stat and is capable of doing some good supporting heals and outputting a little damage at the same time. I have the Super Soul Break. I do think the animation is really cool where Kain and Ceodore kind of tag team the enemy, but I don't use it very often. So, that being said, not a great relic. The hat, this is the best Super Soul Break right here, the Twin Star. Best SSB on the banner for sure. That is all the relics on the banner. We're right at 20 minutes, so let's make our 100 gem draw and conclude things here. Not making any heavy pulls on this because I do have Kain's OSB, BSB already, as well as Ceodore's heavy armor. So, high dupe chance. I don't want to get screwed before Fest and before Final Fantasy VI. No luck on the 100 gem draw. You guys, if you do make pulls on this banner, like, I'm not saying don't. If you need stuff for Kain, he's amazingly useful. He was great with me in Bismarck, so I'm not saying don't pull on this banner. I'm just not for it because I already have most of the highlights on it. For me anyways, Paladin Cecil, he can wait a little bit. I prefer stuff for Golbez, honestly. But if you guys do make pulls on this banner, I do wish you guys great luck and hope you get some really good stuff. I would recommend saving for the festival that should be later this month. Final Fantasy VI as well, up and coming, which is my favorite of all Final Fantasy games. So, just again, good luck to you guys if you make pulls. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you're new. Little bell icon will get you notified whenever I put something out. And again, I apologize for the webcam issues that caused me a little 24-hour delay here. Hope you guys do have a great day, and I will catch you next time. This is Nazdarachi. Peace out, you guys. Have a good one.
ゴルピー、セシルの実動はに好きの民